Welcome back, I'm Sean, and after checking out the previous Watch GT from QCY, today we're checking out its little brother, the Watch GS, to see if it's any good. So let's check it out. So the Watch GS today was sent over to me by QCY for review, but this is not a sponsored post and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So the Watch GT that we have here today comes in at a price of 27 US dollars or about 129 Malaysian ringgit, and although the GT was already a budget-friendly watch, this watch itself has less features and is priced just slightly less than the GT. So in my opinion, it's already a no-brainer which model you should get, but let's see how this watch performs and maybe it can convince you to save a couple of bucks. So if you're interested in buying one, do check out my links below. So let's talk about the design of the watch here, and the main difference here compared to the GT is the shape of it, where the GT is a circular watch and the GS here is a square watch, and both of the watches here has very premium build quality from this price point and comes with a zinc alloy body as well. So the main difference here is that the GS don't come with an AMOLED display, but instead a 2.02-inch TFT LCD display with 320 by 502 resolution, which in my test still is a very high resolution screen. You're just missing out on the deep blacks. And like the GT watch, you're still getting the same watch faces, but I do notice that the GT AMOLED screen, the background is actually kind of black, but on the GS LCD screen, QCY actually filled it up at the back here, not sure if you can see, with some kind of pattern so that it gives it a more filled up feeling instead of like deep blacks, which is a very nice touch. So similarly at the back of the watch is a plastic housing, and here you're going to find your PPG sensor, the SPO2 sensor, as well as the magnetic charging pins to charge up the watch. So here with this watch you also get the same band as the GT, same 22mm silicone strap that is very grippy, so it's just a tad bit hard for me to wear them, and you're also getting the standard quick release mechanism to swap out the strap as you like. So at the front here there is also no special glass material here, so it's just your basic glass material, and instead of a dial you're also getting buttons here instead, and again it's a one button operation, so everything goes through this button as well as the touch screen. So comparing the weight, this watch actually comes in slightly heavier than the GT, coming in at 55.4 grams versus 53.9 grams on the GT. So you get the same battery performance since these two watches are pretty similar, but I do think that the AMOLED display on the GT does play a better role in using less battery, but honestly it's marginal. You're still getting a 3 to 4 days battery life, and QCY also claims that you get a 10-day battery life if you don't connect it to your phone and not use the 24-hour heart rate monitoring. But if you use it for several calls, 100 screen on times, 30-minute spots twice a day, play music for 30 minutes and calls for 30 minutes, it should last you around 4 days, so use that as a benchmark. Feature is also pretty standard here, starting to see that these two are very similar watches with different form factors. So you're getting a Bluetooth 5.2 chipset for syncing purposes and sending over new watch faces, and you also don't have the option to connect external power meters, cadence or speed sensors to the watch, so that's all you get to do with the Bluetooth connectivity. The watch also comes supported with an IPX8 water resistant rating, which also means that in the sport watch world means you can swim with the watch, but in typical budget watch world you're not going to find any swimming or open water spots in this watch. So similarly, there is no onboard GPS found on this watch, which is used to help keep costs down, unfortunately. So every tracking here is based on accelerometer movements, and they are still a guess at best. When you move your arms, so the more you move your arms, the watch thinks you're going faster. So apart from that, you're also getting quite a basic set of sensors to track your activities, including 24 hours heart rate monitoring, SPO2 blood oxygen monitoring, stress monitoring, as well as sleep tracking. So one difference here is that the watch doesn't come with a bright screen like the GT, so you don't get the 1000 nits brightness screen, but using it outdoors is still pretty good with no problems most of the time. So also when someone sends you a photo, the notification only shows you or appears as a picture, and there will be no preview of the picture on your watch. Finally, for the camera feature, you can access the camera only in the QCY app and use the phone as your viewfinder, and the watch will just have a camera button for you to snap away, and it doesn't work with the native camera app of your phone. So the watch interface is also pretty simple, and most of it is the same as the GT, but with one main difference. So there is now no crown here to change the watch interface of the watch by twisting it. Instead, now you need to press and hold on the screen, and it will bring you into the page to swap your watch face, and here you get 5 preloaded watch faces and 1 watch face that you can sync from your phone. So every time you sync a new watch face, it replaces the last one that you sync. So pressing the button here will bring you into the menu, and here you can change it between this style, the list style, also a rotating style. So unlike the GT model, there isn't any bird game that I can find on this watch. And the rest of the interface is pretty much the same. So swiping from the top will bring you to your watch command center, which is where you can access all the settings of your watch. And swiping it from the bottom, this is where you get your notification center. And swiping through from left or right will bring you through all your different widgets that you have, an overview of your health status as well. So since we have the same brand watch here, means the same QCY app, and you're also getting the same combo of watch and earbuds in one app, so everything is all in one simple to use app. So under the data tab, this is where you get a summary of your entire health, like your health overview, and if you click on any one of it, it will show you more details of your health status. Under the workout tabs, however, even when using the QCY app, again, there is no GPS recording for your workout, so both the watch and the app doesn't record any GPS data. And finally, in the settings app, this is where you get to choose all your different watch faces, manage your health monitoring settings. So if you go into photo mode, so this is where you open the app and control it with your phone, and you can actually use it with your phone's native camera app. And you also get to find your watch. It vibrates and plays a very soft noise, so not the most effective if you want to find your watch. And finally, you can also update the firmware of your watch. So let's talk a little bit about the accuracy of the watch, and it's usually the most exciting part of testing any watch, but the performance of the accuracy here is actually the same situation as the Watch GT. And because the lack of GPS to track your movement, the watch is actually not pinpoint accurate when it comes to tracking distance. And I notice it coincides with your hand movements a lot, and the faster you fling your arms around while you run, increase your cadence but not increase the speed, the watch kind of thinks that you're running faster and hence clock a further distance. So again, I took this watch out to my usual 5 kilometers run, and the heart rate is also not the most accurate, and it's usually 10 BPMs off. So every time I look at it, sometimes it's 10 BPM more, sometimes it's 10 BPM less. And from how I feel when running, I know the reading is not accurate. From a distance perspective, it's also the same situation as well. So I get about 100 meters less at the start, then in the middle, suddenly it catches up and goes closer to the Apple Watch. And at the end, the QCY sped ahead and ended the run with 200 meters more. So again, if you're not an athlete and just want something to track your activities, then this watch will be okay. Else you might want to go with other watches like Garmin, Suunto, or even Coros instead of a simple fitness tracker like this. So what do you think about this watch? Do you prefer the circular GT with the AMOLED display, or will you save your money to get the square GS without AMOLED? I'm also curious to know whether there is a market for a watch at this price point where it's priced very similar to its better sibling. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere, and if you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.